You know, it's the season. It sure is. It may not feel like it right now in Colorado because it was 60 degrees today, but I guarantee you it's gonna get cold and you're gonna want to get a nice glass of hot chocolate with a little bit of whiskey. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's start from scratch with our hot chocolate. First thing we're gonna need, some whole milk. I have cocoa here, and I have dark chocolate cocoa here. We need some cane sugar. We need some semi-sweet morsels. Marshmallows. I'm gonna use 1/8 of a cup of the regular cocoa. I'm gonna use 1/8 of a cup of the dark chocolate cocoa. 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. We need 4 cups of milk. Put in our first 2. Our second 2. I want to turn this to medium high, and I want to bring this milk up to a nice simmer. While the milk's coming up to temperature, let's go over to the table and let's go over the whiskeys we're going to mix in with this. Let's go. While the milk is simmering, let's take you through what I'm going to pair this with. So I'm thinking right off the bat is I have these 2 ryes right here. I have a Templeton rye. This is aged 6 years. It's MGP sourced. I've already cracked into it. I'll give you a little review here in a sec. Same here with the Old Forester. This is 100 proof rye, whereas the Templeton 6 year is only 91.5. So let's pop these open. Let's do a little review on them. I've done a little bit of research on these because I wanted to kind of build my nose. The best way to do this is using this nosing kit. This is from Nose Your Bourbon. This was generously given to me. This contains a lot of little samples of certain typical scents that you're gonna pick up in some of these bourbons and whiskeys that we're gonna try. We have rye, so I'm gonna pop that one out. Let's see, we're gonna have a little bit of oak smell to them as well in the nose. Cinnamon, allspice. They have little samples in here. You open them up. Take a whiff, that's rye. This one here. Oh, that's cinnamon. We all know what cinnamon smells like. Some allspice. Ooh. I don't think I've ever smelled allspice before. Interesting. Okay, so let's give this a whirl. So right now I'm gonna tell you the side by side, the Templeton is a little bit lighter in color. The Old Forester does have a little bit darker caramel in it. They both have very good tearing on the glasses, if you can see that or not. Tearing on the glasses is basically when you swirl it around, what kind of comes down is what they call tearing. The Templeton does kind of hold it a little bit tighter than the Old Forester. Let's give these a sniff, see what we got in here. Templeton coming in at 91 proof, 91.5, being sourced with MGP. It does have a very light aroma. It doesn't attack me, it doesn't kill my nose. I am definitely picking up some of the oak, the woodiness in it, obviously the rye. I don't think I'm picking up cinnamon. Let's try some allspice. I don't pick up allspice in it either. So I definitely pick up the oak and rye. Obviously they're aged in oak barrels and it's a rye based. I mean, it's 95% rye mash bill with 5% of malted barley. That's pretty intense. The Old Forester comes in much less, 65% rye. What is it, 20% malted barley, 15% corn. So actually I have corn in here as well. Let's go over to ooh, I do, really? Very similar scent there. Almost even brown sugar, which is also in my Nose Your Bourbon kit. Oh. Yeah, that does have a different nose profile than the Templeton does. Again, it's not very, you get a little bit of citrus almost to it as well. You know what, we could sniff bourbons all day long. Let's go in for the taste. We really want to try this. So here we go. Not much of a kick to the back end. It is slightly warming going down. Not very bitter. Doesn't taste dry. I do know that sometimes ryes will taste a little on the dry side, at least to my flavor, my palate. This one does have good flavor. I can actually pick up a little bit of cinnamon. I can taste the oak. It does kind of fall to the side of my tongue, and I can pick up a little bit different flavor in there. I just don't, I'm not really good at my palate being fully developed yet, so I'm still working on that. We'll get to there. Let's try this Old Forester. I should probably rinse before I do something. Bottle swig of the Weller. Definitely want to clean out your palate before you go in between these two. So I'm going to pick up some of this intelligent water. Make really great sounds with the microphone. And let's see, let's come into this Old Forester. A 100 proof is nice. It does, it's a little bit warmer. It goes down a little bit. Softer even. A warmer, softer, but a little bit drier. If that can, if that even all relates, at least to my, again, my palate's different from your palate. You probably taste something completely different from it, and that's fine. Let's see, what else? I'm gonna smell. Let's see. I'm gonna smell. I'm not picking up caramel. I bet you know what it is. I bet you I'm picking up some cocoa, believe it or not. The cocoa, we're making it, the milk is simmering still. So, you know what? That pretty much, we got these kind of tasted. So, again, I have the Old Forester and I have the Templeton Rye, both of which are really good. They're inexpensive as well. I think the Templeton was about $40, whereas the Old Forester was $45 at my local liquor store. Well, I think the milk is simmered enough. Let's go back to it and finish that off, shall we? All right, we're getting close. So, I got my thermometer here. We're just touching the bottom. Gonna come up a little bit. About 180 degrees. Now they're at temperature. about 198 to 95 degrees. So I turned down my temperature of my stove to just about simmer. Now we're gonna add in the cocoa and the sugar. Use your whisk to blend that all in until there's no more chunks. To speed up this process, I'm actually gonna use my emulsifier. Once I'm satisfied that I got it all blended properly, add in my semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'm gonna go back to the emulsifier. And now, we're ready to serve. Shall we? All right, this looks great. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take some, I'm gonna pour it into my cups. Go about halfway. Actually, I have one more. I'm gonna put Old Forester in one, Templeton rye in the other. Pull out that Weller, pour some of that in the third. And of course, you gotta put in your marshmallows. Hot cocoa isn't anything if you don't have marshmallows in it. Now for the taste. Templeton rye. That was the first one I went with. Hot cocoa was exquisite. Of course, made it from scratch. Really does warm you all the way down. I don't really pick up any of the dryness from the original taste. It really enhances the cocoa. Let's go to the Old Forester rye. That one I can taste the higher proof. Almost adds a nutmeg flavor to it. On the exhale, I can definitely feel a little bit more of that flavor coming through. Finally, Weller Special Reserve. Let's give this one a whirl. This is a wheated bourbon. Did a review on it on the Facebook group a while ago. I don't know if I added enough. Actually, it's very light. Very light flavored. I added about the same amounts of all three of them to the same amount of cocoa. The Weller doesn't give you any of that burn at all. Almost the wheated might be the better choice than the ryes, but if we're gonna stick with the ryes, I don't think you can go wrong with either of those. I think the Old Forester, I'm gonna put that one on top by one extra marshmallow. So I'm gonna give it a 5 marshmallow count. I'm gonna give the Templeton rye a 4 marshmallow count. And we'll do the Weller Special Reserve at about 4.5 marshmallows. Let's do that. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time out today and watching my video on how to make cocoa and spike it with some rye. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, smash that like button like everybody says, and we'll see you around shortly. Thank you and have a good night.